Morning, folks. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. Don't stand there letting the heat out. You see how the frost has painted up those window panes? Old Man Winter is really showing his teeth today. But it's warm right here by the stove, the coffee's hot, and I've already poured you a mug. Grab it and warm up those hands. Today is a special morning. You might have looked at the calendar and just seen a date, December 17th. For some folks, it's just another day to rush around buying Christmas presents. But for me, this day smells like salt spray, engine grease, and a biting Atlantic wind. Because on a morning just as cold as this one, two stubborn brothers did something the whole world said was impossible. Pull up a chair. Today, I want to talk about Wilbur and Orville Wright. But I don't want to talk about those bronze statues you see in history books. I want to talk about the real men. Two brothers whose only true sweetheart was the sky itself. One breath of this cold air today, and I'm right back there on the dunes of Kitty Hawk. But let's back up a little. Let's go back to where it all started. Back to being kids. You know how it is? Big things often start small. In the Wright house, their daddy was a bishop, Milton Wright. He traveled a lot for church business, and one day way back in 1878, he came home with a gift for his boys. It wasn't candy, and it wasn't a book. It was a little toy helicopter, a genuine French design by a fella named Pinot, made of cork, bamboo, and paper, with a twisted rubber band inside. I can see those boys now, plain as day. They didn't sit still in the parlor. Sir, they wound that thing up and let it fly. It didn't drop like a rock. It sailed across the room. And then, you know, boys, they ran right out into the yard with it, standing there in the dirt, heads tilted back, watching that little toy flutter against the sky. That's the moment the dream grabbed hold of them. That toy broke eventually, like toys do, but the dream, that stayed unbroken. They were thick as thieves, those two. Did everything together. You know, when they were still in school, they needed pocket money like any kid. So what did they do? They built and sold kites. And let me tell you, their kites flew better than any other kids in Dayton because they already understood the wind. Now, you remember I mentioned their business? They ran a bicycle shop, the Wright Cycle Company. Oh, I wish you could have smelled that place. Rubber tires, glue, iron, and hard work. They built bikes with their own hands, and that shop is what paid for the dream. Every dime went into materials. And here's a little secret most folks miss. When it came time to cover the wings of that first flyer, they didn't use fancy canvas or heavy tarp. No, sir. They went down to the local dry goods store and bought the best cotton fabric they could find. It was a brand called Pride of the West. It was a high-quality muslin, the kind usually used for ladies' undergarments. But they knew it was tight-woven and strong. They cut it and sewed it themselves on a sewing machine right there in the back of the bike shop. But the road to the stars is rocky. In 1896, their hero, a German fellow named Otto Lilienthal, died in a glider crash. That shook 'em up, but it didn't stop 'em. They realized Lilienthal knew how to lift off, but he didn't know how to steer. Their daddy, the old bishop, he worried sick about them. He knew the risks they were taking out on those windy dunes in North Carolina. He made them promise him one thing. He said, "Boys, you can fly, but Lord help me, promise you will never ever fly together in the same machine." He knew if a crash happened, he couldn't bear to lose both his sons at once, and they kept that promise. As long as their father was alive, they never went up together. And then came the day, December 17th, 1903. A biting cold morning, wind howling at 27 miles an hour. Normal folks were inside drinking tea. The Wrights dragged their flyer out onto the sand. Who would go first? It was a toss-up for history, literally. They flipped a coin. Orville won. He climbed onto the wing. The motor sputtered and roared. Wilbur ran alongside, holding the wingtip steady so it wouldn't dig into the sand, and then a miracle. The machine lifted. It only stayed up for 12 seconds. It only went 120 feet. That's shorter than the wings of a modern jumbo jet. But those 120 feet changed the world forever. Man had flown. But the story doesn't end there. It goes all the way to the stars. Listen to this. It gives me goosebumps every time. In 1969, when Neil Armstrong was packing his personal kit to go to the moon, he took two things with him. He took a splinter of wood from the propeller and a swatch of that Pride of the West fabric from the wing of the 1903 Flyer. Think about that. Fabric that fluttered in the wind on a beach in North Carolina. 66 years later, it was sitting on the Sea of Tranquility, 240,000 miles away. The dream that started with a toy helicopter in the backyard went all the way to the heavens. So, when you step out into the cold today, look up. Remember two brothers who weren't afraid of the wind. And do me a favor, drop down in the comments and tell me, is there a dream you've been building piece by piece, just like the Wrights built that plane? I'll be sitting right here reading every one. Now, let's see if your memory is sharp this morning. No peeking. Pop's morning brain. Prime. What did the Wright brothers make and sell as schoolboys to earn pocket money? What was the specific brand name of the fabric they used to cover the wings of the first Flyer? What rule did their father make them follow to keep them safe? If you remembered the name of that fabric, well, you're sharper than a tack. If not, that's just fine. You learned something new today, and that's what we're here for. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the little bell. Join me this evening, folks. We're going to talk about another beautiful tradition for this time of year, wreaths across America. We'll talk about those green wreaths with red ribbons that honor our veterans and why we lay them down in the snow. It's going to be a special one. Until then, stay warm and keep your eyes on the sky. May the Lord bless you and keep you.